Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation. My name is Jessica, and I have been a pharmacy technician for over a decade now. It's pretty much the only career that I have ever had, and it has changed so much since I started. I have been a pharmacy technician since before the position required for the technicians to be licensed. And I was actually able to be grandfathered in through my experience and with a high school diploma. One thing that I noticed over the years is that we have a lot of people who apply for this position, but they're not really aware of what the job will be like or what are the duties, what are the requirements. So I'm here to tell you, if you're interested in the fun and exciting career of being a pharmacy technician, here are a few things you should think about. The first that I mentioned is that we do require a license now. So a license can be obtained a few ways. You can self-train with a study book or study guidebook for the pharmacy technician certification exam and pass it. There's a fee required with the exam. Also, a lot of the larger retail pharmacy chains have gotten approved by the pharmacy board to have their own training programs through working. So you'll be hired in with no experience, no training. They will train you, they will educate you, and at the end of that, you'll have to pass an exam that is also approved by the Board of Pharmacy. So that's one thing to think about. Also, you can obtain your license there are a few colleges that offer pharmacy technician education programs. Again, the bottom line is you will not be licensed until you pass that exam. So another thing to think about is that once you have this license, you have to continue to maintain that license with continuing education credits. So you need to accumulate credit hours, and the best way to get that is through the pharmacy technician's letter. But failure to get your credit hours or paying your renewal fee will result in an inactive license. So it is something that you need to devote time and attention to, and keep it maintained and keep it valid in order to stay in the profession. So two places that pharmacy technicians typically work, the two main places would be hospitals or retail pharmacies. And I've been working in retail pharmacies for the past more than a decade now. So I'd like to talk next a little bit more about what that is like. So one skill to have when you're a pharmacy technician is experience with computers, but when isn't a computer skill needed in this day and age in any profession? So we, as the technicians, typically take in these prescriptions and we enter the data into the computer, and we use that to not only produce a prescription label, but also we submit a claim to the insurance company. And it takes many years to master the different insurance rejections, understanding what they mean and how to remedy those. So again, that takes years. It also takes quite a bit of time learning the doctor codes, because the doctors don't write take one tablet by mouth. That's not what they write. They'll write SIG, 1 PO, BID, and you'll need to translate that into regular speech, 1 tablet by mouth twice a day, and be able to produce that on the prescription label. Another thing that is involved in the career is there's a little bit of math. So, for instance, we convert a lot of units. So if you're receiving a prescription for a child, an antibiotic, let's say, and you'll receive the prescription. It's going to say 1 teaspoon BID for 10 days. So as a technician, we've got to convert the teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon has 5 milliliters in that. So you'll convert that from teaspoon to milliliter, then translate the doctor code BID into twice a day. So 5 milliliters twice a day, 10 days. How many milliliters do I need to give this child the full course of antibiotics that they require to get them healthy again? So that's one example. We also convert with other medications like eye drops. So a 5 ml bottle. So each ml, depending upon insurances. So most insurances will accept that 1 drop is 20 mLs. Some insurances will even accept that 1 drop is 17. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. 1 ml is 20 drops. And some insurances will accept that 1 ml is 17 drops. And again, we use this to tell the insurance how many days 1 bottle will last the patient due to the directions that the doctor will put on that prescription. So I'm sure all of this sounds simple, but it does take years to master this. And some doctors out there are still using Roman numerals, so you've got to be able to translate the Roman numerals and then the math with if the smaller number is to the left of the bigger number, you subtract that, versus if it's on the right, then you would add it to that number. So there's a lot of that, and again, all of these need to be done accurately, and it needs to be done in a timely fashion. If you have a sick child that is crying in your waiting room and they need their eardrops and they need their antibiotic, you have to get this ready for them as quickly as possible so that they can get on their way to being healthy. But you also need to do it accurately, because when you're in the health field, you cannot afford to make any mistakes. So another thing that pharmacy technicians do is we relay insurance information to the patient. So for instance, a patient may come to pick up their medication and it is not ready for pickup. And of course they'll be upset because they were expecting to get it. And we come to find out that the medication is not covered by their insurance. And we have to tell them, I'm sorry, your medication was not covered. We did fax that information or notify the doctor somehow, and we're waiting for them to get back to us. And then doctors' offices have they have a few options. They can write for something that is covered. Sometimes insurances require extra paperwork. It's typically called a prior authorization. And a prior authorization means your insurance doesn't feel like covering it, and your doctor needs to fill out extra paperwork to convince them to pay for it. And that is not an instant process, although we wish it is, when you have a patient there who really needs their medication. So again, these patients, when they're receiving this not awesome news, they're going to need to be met with someone who is compassionate, someone who's empathetic, who can say, you know, I'm sorry that this happened. And that's something that I do day in and day out. I'm sorry that this happened to you, and I promise that we are doing everything that we can on our end to get you what you need so that you can continue on having a healthy lifestyle. So another thing is that pharmacy technicians are multitaskers. So again, we're transcribing the prescription, we're taking it in, we're filling it, we're waiting on the customer at the other end. But a lot of these tasks are going on simultaneously. So we're picking up the phone as someone is calling in on their refill, and with the other hand, still transcribing another prescription because it's got to be done in a timely fashion. We've got, you know, as I mentioned, sick children waiting on us. And again, all of these things need to be done accurately in a timely fashion, and most of all, going on at the same time. So someone's dropping off a refill, and then another person will come to the counter, and you'll just have to, give them the signal, I'm sorry, I'll be with you as soon as I possibly can. And then the next person comes up and they would like to have a flu shot. And of course, we want to help them stay protected for the the coming flu season, and we want to take care of them in a timely fashion as well as do all of these other tasks. So it's definitely, the past 10 years have been very busy, very exciting, but there's a lot to like about the field. I like that it keeps me on my toes. I'm always learning something new. Just when I think that I've seen every possible insurance rejection, I see new ones. There's new laws about medications that we need to keep up with. And it is something that keeps me intellectually busy. As I mentioned, learning new things, keeping up with the new laws, and there's something different every day. So a lot of it is the same, but there's definitely things that change on a daily basis. So as I mentioned, someone who would make a successful technician is someone who's good at multitasking, attention to detail, compassionate, empathetic, because at the end of the day, this is all about helping. We just want to help people get the medications that they need. We want to help them stay healthy, and we want to take care of them every way that we can, whether it's a sick child, whether it's someone with their maintenance of blood pressure medications, and again, things that come up, they're going on vacation and they may need help communicating with their insurance company to get an override for that so that they can go on vacation and still maintain a healthy lifestyle wherever they're traveling. And at the end of the day, this career has been very rewarding to me. I have been able to help so many people, and there are times when they come to me with complicated issues. There's, as I mentioned, insurance problems, or they can't take a certain brand of a medication due to dyes, and we have to go a little bit above and beyond to solve these problems for them. And at the end, they're very grateful because this is helping them live the healthiest life that they can, in spite of whatever medications they might need. And so, at the end of all this, if this still sounds like a good idea, go ahead and apply to your nearest pharmacy and tell them Jessica sent you, with all of the tips that you could possibly need to do well in this field. Again, so don't forget that you will need a license. You will need to maintain that license. And now you know a little bit of what the daily duties will be like. There will be multitasking. There will be interaction with patients. You are the face of their healthcare at this point. But it is exciting. You'll learn new things every day. It will keep you on your toes. And at the end of the day, it's going to be very rewarding. This is something that I have spent more than a decade in, and it's an exciting and rewarding field. So somebody who knows that they are helping the community and helping individual patients maintain a healthy lifestyle is going to do well as a pharmacy technician. I have received several compliments that one of the most favorite things that they like about me is that I'm compassionate and I can show you that I'm here to help you. Another thing that has served me well as a pharmacy technician, fun fact, I have a very nice telephone voice. For example, hello, and thank you for calling your local pharmacy. This is Pharmacy Technician Jessica, and how can I help you today with my famous pharmacy technician skills? So don't forget that I'm here for you to help you with all of your insurance needs, transcribing needs, and getting your medication accurately. We can only go the speed of accurate, but we also need to have these things done in a timely fashion. A lot of people cannot wait for the next day, especially, as I mentioned, if it is a child waiting for their antibiotic. So thank you all. If you've made it to the end of this 15 minutes, thank you for giving me your time and your attention. And I hope that you have learned a little bit of what a pharmacy technician will be like. And I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to speak about what the past over a decade has been like for me. I really appreciate you all, and have a great rest of your night or day whenever you end up watching this. Thanks.